All right, latest update from where we are on this redistricting. A lot of people are not spending a lot of time on this, but this is very critical to our state. And in the last time, of course, as an old timer, I think the last redistricting we went through, or maybe it was the time before that one, which was just so volatile, and we've had some. We've had some real rough redistricting and court battles and everything else. This one is not lining up to be that contentious, or is it?
Well, so far it's been pretty smooth. What we're doing is I'm on a joint committee, a redistricting committee. It's 20 of us. It's 10 senators, 10 representatives, and we're holding public hearings right now. We're going all over the state. So far we've kind of canvassed North Mississippi, the eastern side of Mississippi, and then next week we'll be down south. And It's just a public forum, so anyone can come in. They can just.
Is anybody coming in? Does anybody care about it for the most part?
Yeah. Well, it's hit and miss. I tell you, we had one in Senatobia. Probably 60 people showed up, and it turned into the Wild West.
Really?
Yeah.
What were their concerns?
Well, primarily, a lot of them there were concerned more about your local, your city, your wards, your municipalities, which we don't really fool with, but you can come up, you can make a statement, it goes on record.
Yeah.
And, one kind of interesting thing, one fella who had lived in town up in Senatobia, he had lived in 3 different cities in his lifetime and never moved. So I found that kind of fascinating. Yeah, I found that fascinating.
How about that? Yeah. What's going to be the most contentious part of this? And I understand keeping the BVAP is real difficult because what has happened is there's been a flight out of the Mississippi Delta.
Yeah.
You do have a lot of African Americans there, but the landscape has changed more so in some places than others.
Yeah, and you pretty much nailed it. The biggest
BVAP, by the way, is black voting age population.
Yeah. It's going to be, when we do the congressional districts, the Delta has seen the most, flight.
Have you guys come up with an idea? Is there a preliminary map drawn already?
We will get our numbers, our hard numbers, Monday. And so right now, how this works is anyone can come in, they could submit a map, anything like that. And so we wouldn't actually draw anything until we're done with our public hearings to allow the public to, turn anything in they would like to.
But again, I understand the public input is necessary, but then how much sway do they have? Because their wants and desires really have to. You really have some numbers that you have to put in.
Correct. What the thing to do is for any citizen who's concerned about it is to get with their local representative, get with their local senator, and work with them, because those locals will have a big impact on how we draw this thing.
Do you expect some changes as far as the congressional districts?
There's going to have to be. I do.
Talk about that exactly. What are we going to see, or what will the probable map look like?
On District 1 and then District 4, which is the north and the south end, they've both grown in population enough to where those districts will probably shrink just a little bit, and then Congressional District 2, which is the Delta, is going to have to expand one way or another. It's going to have to go either north or south, and maybe a little bit east.
So District 2 could go how far south? Into close to central Mississippi, you're talking about?
Yeah.
Deeper into central Mississippi.
Well, I would say it would go down the Mississippi River, go down south.
So we're going to say it's going to be a tornado map again.
No, I'm sorry. I'm talking District. District 2.
District 2. So it will follow the river down to make it work.
Yes.
There's no way not to have a gerrymandered, and when you use that term, there's no way to have you just can't block it off in 4 equal ways.
No, that word scares folks, but I mean, there's no way to do it. At all of these meetings, everyone wants to have a compact district. That's the word we keep hearing, and it's just. We're going to try to not split precincts or counties, or we're going to try our best to do those things, but sometimes it's just going to be hard not to do.
We came close, but we were not as close as some people thought to losing one of our districts, but we're okay on that one. For at least the next 10 years. Yeah. What were some of the things that you were looking at that you were a little surprised about, or was there anything?
Not really. I mean, I knew, there was population loss in the Delta, and that was kind of the big issue, and no real surprises for me.
So the timetable on this one, and again, Fred Shanks is my guest this morning. So the timetable, Fred, on this one is going to be you have to have it done before.
We will have it done during next session.
In the session.
Correct.
Because the next time this will be used as far as the numbers on an election will be November of next year, or
Yes.
do we have something in spring? We don't have anything in spring.
It'd be November.
It'll be November. So by then, everything will be absolutely according to. That said, that's if there's no challenges, which could happen.
Yes, that
So then we might get into another situation like we did before.
could be.
Who's your counterpart in the Senate?
Well, we've got on the Senate side, we've got Josh Harkins, Dean Kirby, Briggs Hobson, and that's who I've been kind of palling around with, carpooling, things like that.
I got you. The Northeast Mississippi Daily Journal had a story reviewing some of the census data from our SuperTalk hometowns in Northeast Mississippi, and I found it interesting because longtime economic and population hub of Northeast Mississippi showed only modest population growth. When I hear that, I think, around the Blue Springs area, and if more people would have just done what they were supposed to do to fill out those forms, could have been a different story.
Sure, could have.
From 2010 to 2020, Tupelo grew from 34,546 to 37,923, which was about 10%. Now, it could have been worse.
Yeah.
Many places had it worse. They grew 10%. And again, if everybody had filled out like they were supposed to, you wonder how much more it would have been. But City Hall officials had one time voiced the goal of reaching 40,000, while admitting that goal was probably unrealistic. The pandemic also fell into that, too, and who knows what that pandemic as far as the census results. Oxford posted the greatest population growth. They were 34%, growing from 18,916 to 25,416, making it the second largest city in the region, and they're still growing. Starkville grew, but not as much as Oxford. It grew 2%. Starkville saw a very small population boost from 23,888 to 24,360. So that's the way it looked. And some of the other cities lost population, like Amory and Aberdeen lost. Calhoun City lost population. Nettleton, New Albany, Okolona, where else? Shannon lost 250.